Thank you for coming back to another Hamza Khan show video. I'm just gonna get right into it because it's been another, I think, very story-driven week in wrestling currently this week. Um, you had NXT, which was crazy. You had Raw, which was quite good, and SmackDown as well. And then what I think was probably the standout of the week in terms of wrestling was definitely Triple A. Triple A is the best show going running. Is surpassed NXT for me. I used to always say NXT is probably the best show. I always enjoy NXT, and I still kind of do still enjoy aspects of it. But whenever it is a Triple A show, you know you're getting a banger. Everything going on, how they've done this El Grande Americano versus um, the real Americano versus the OG Americano, how they've built the storyline, how they've kind of presented it has been amazing. The crowd is so invested and they so play into it as well. Um, in the contract, in the contract signing which happened today, which happened on the last show, it was so intense. It was so engaging. You were watching it. You were so interested in what was happening. The crowd was rooting for the real Americano and hates the original. And what I liked as well was how they've kind of adjusted his mask with his kind of like horns, kind of like devilish horns, just to signify that heelish kind of aspect to the original Americano. And um, he's such a villain in terms of coming out. And I like the fact that the original, kind of embraced the fact that he doesn't know uh, Spanish or Mexican. He's not necessarily, he's not up to date with it, but he acts as if he is, and that just, it's such a trait of a, he is a person, he is a villain who you hate him, but you also have a set appreciation for him, and I really enjoyed the fact of what we're seeing from this Americano. Um, the contract signing, obviously, the that reporter woman who's in real life dating Ludwig Kaiser, um, her getting involved and her being fired, I think it's a really good moment, and it's a, especially for that Spanish kind of crowd, it really gets you more invested, which I really enjoy and really like, and the enthusiasm, the aggressiveness, the kind of aura to the real Americano is so well done. He's such a great talent, and you can understand why he's so loved by all the fans of AAA and the people in the crowd. It's such a enjoyable character. It's such a engaging character, I would say, and the commentary of it kind of doubles it down and makes it more interesting. And they do a really good job. Probably my best favorite commentary team currently, Rey Mysterio, JBL, and Corey Graves all together. They kind of so well done, so interesting, and they really get you involved in the story, which I really like. Um, you had, on just talking about the matches on that show, you had Ray Phoenix versus Relado Kid, which was a bang of a match, and I like the fact that they kept on reiterating the fact that this isn't a title match, this is just a normal match for an opportunity, and this is the kind of banger they're putting out there. All the move sets, the athleticism, everything was so super well done. It was super enjoyable, and you you feel you feel the momentum on Laredo Kid. I think a lot of the champions in AAA have held the championship for long, long times, but you kind of feel the momentum on Laredo Kid that maybe it is the case that he will be losing that championship quite soon, with the fact that um, he lost to Wagner Jr. last week and then losing to Ray Phoenix. Probably is going to be the case where um, he might be losing it quite soon, or maybe there is a changing character of Laredo Kid into a more heelish kind of cruiserweight, which I wouldn't be mad about. And the way he wrestles is super enjoyable, especially as well as Ray Phoenix. The crowd really enjoyed Ray Phoenix and they really backed him. And it's understandable to see how he went out there. And then the match of the night, Mini Vikingo versus Vikingo was insane. Mini Vikingo is a crazy character. He's so good. He's such a good wrestler. He's the everything about that match was so well done from the beginning till the end. The fact that Mini Vikingo won in the end because of the fact that Wagner Jr. got involved, but you know the reason why he got involved. It's not a case of just to make the save. We've already kind of laid out um, the groundworks previously to that. The fact that uh, Vikingo is going for the Latin American Championship. Um, so it just makes so much sense that Dr. Wagner Jr. to actually come out, and his entrance music is really, 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 I really enjoy his entrance music. And it times tens the character, I would say. And that match was just really good. The heel of Vikingo, the heel of the good baby face, the underdog in Mini Vikingo was really well done. The spot where he kind of did like a triple somersault, but then he spiked Vikingo, that was insane. And it ended the match with that kind of 630. I don't know what he was doing in the air, but that was flipping crazy as well. And it's just a top tier match. There's no doubt about it. I love a Moss. Moss is such. He's the best big man currently going out there. You can't argue. Otherwise, no one's kind of compared to him. The way he's booked, the way he's kind of presented, the way he moves, and how he's protected is so well done. And the fact that he's such a villain makes it times it 10. He comes out there, he gets in Wagner Jr.'s face, then Wagner Jr.'s brother comes out, the evil doctor, and they're able to, both of them, get one over on the mask, but he didn't make a mask look soft. It was just such a well done show, top to bottom. You're not losing interest, you're constantly engaged, the characters are really enjoyable, and I have no complaints with it, I would say. Off the back of that, we'll go through Raw first. So, Raw, trying to think about it back of memory, you had the face to face between Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins, which I didn't feel very connected to. I'm excited for the match going forwards, but I did not feel very um, connected. I didn't feel like they got me in that feud, in that confrontation. So hopefully this week coming forwards, they're able to bring it back for me and kind of present a bit of a strong kind of viewpoint of the storyline going forwards. Make it feel real, make it feel more engaging, because they definitely can do it. Seth Rollins is an amazing wrestler as well as Braun Breaker. So hopefully they can do next week, and it's not some sort of physicality. But it was not as engaging as I wanted it to be. What I did like though, coming off the back of that kind of confrontation, was Seth Rollins going towards the Street Profits, and the Street Profits telling him straight, "You're on your own. We just want the tag team titles. That's it. That's our objective." Because I was confused the previous week where Street Profits made the save, but then kind of disappeared. But that kind of makes sense. They weren't there to kind of save Seth Rollins from Braun Breaker. They were just attacking Logan Paul and Austin Theory so that they can try and get those tag team championships back from them. Other things that happened on Raw, what I really enjoyed, and I wouldn't be mad, and I was looking, hoping that it happened. The Io Sky versus um, Becky Lynch match. I would really love it if Io Sky won the Intercontinental Championship and we go week to week with just Io Sky just putting banger after banger after banger. That was an amazing match, top to bottom, really enjoyable. Io Sky lost because of Oscar getting involved, which makes sense for their story going forwards. It's a shame that Kyrie is not here anymore, but um, hopefully they're able to get the attention back onto it. Let's get this storyline moving forward and put some force into it, because there was it was you had the momentum, it was building towards it with Io versus Oscar, and then it just stopped. Then it got back on board, then it stopped, and it's just not what you want to see. I guess there's long storylines, but then there's storylines you need to kind of attack and kind of complete, and I don't think that was the case for um, this match. But we can only move forward, see what goes on further from there. You had, what else happened? Ethan Page looked really good on the show. No complaints there. Um, I wouldn't mind Ethan Page eventually becoming Intercontinental Champion, because you saw what he did with the North American Championship. If he's with the Intercontinental Championship, I wouldn't be mad about it. Um, what else happened? I'm trying to think of everything apart from what happened in the main event. We'll just talk about the main event then, because I can't remember anything else happening. Oba's Open Challenge as well, that happened. We'll see what happens there. Kind of, I'm not sure what's going on. I like it. I think it's probably your best decision, but you're not really. You can't have a. We're not gonna get a Oba versus Dragali match, which is like a 10 out of 10 5-star match. They're not gonna give us that. It's just gonna be a case where he just kind of goes through people, which is, I feel like, is a bit annoying. But somehow maybe they can injure Oba some sort of way so that it becomes a competitive match for Oba going forwards, and we see what happens with that on that end. But we'll go through what happened in the main event of the show. You had obviously the opening with the conversation with Roman Reigns and the Usos. Um, Jay talking about consequences, Jimmy kind of being the cool head in the conversation, good and bad angel both on the Roman Reigns' shoulder. Enjoy that opening. It's got us back in Bloodline mode. Bloodline is back 100%, and vibes are good with the Bloodline. We're getting good storylines. We're not getting Pat McAfee involved, hopefully. But yeah, that at the beginning of the show, Roman taking the feedback from the Usos, then taking it back into the main of the event of the show. Roman Reigns was super over. He was definitely the quote unquote good guy in the scenario. The Tulsa crowd really loved Roman Reigns, and here comes Jacob Fatu. Roman says he's expecting him, and then goes ahead and says, "You don't deserve it. If I give you that title match, it's going to be called nepotism." Jacob Fatu is not taking any of that, which is the exact thing you would expect from Jacob Fatu. How they've been dealing with him. I feel bad for everybody around, a little bit, but then again, when you're going a head to head against a Roman Reigns, you kind of need to um, build that opponent, because I don't no one at this second, no one really believes Jacob Fatu can win. So hopefully this momentum can build Jacob Fatu to a point where maybe he gets super close but isn't able to actually beat Roman. And because I'm assuming, based on what we've seen going forwards and what happened on SmackDown, I'm expecting a lot of chicanery to happen in the Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu match, especially since how it's been made. You've got the Tongan death grip that's been put on um, Roman. Roman gets pissed off. He then says, "You've got the match." I like that ending a little bit where camera gets closed. Jacob Fatu says, "I ain't waiting to backlash. I'll see you next week," which was nice. I enjoyed that. It was really well done, really enjoyable, that match. Um, that kind of confrontation. Um, and it kind of build off what happened on SmackDown this week, which was Solo and Talatonga basically running amok out of everybody on the division, dealing with the tag team champs. They attacked, what's his name, Royce Keys in the background, started the show. I think it was at the beginning of the show. No, it wasn't at the beginning of the show. It's kind of in the mid tier of the show where the Usos are confronting Solo and Talatonga. I like Solo is such a good character, man. Where he goes, you know what, it's okay. Basically, the Usos said to him that don't we're not telling you, um, we're not asking you, we're telling you basically. And then Solo, as usual, he laughs, he smiles, he goes, "No worries, it's fine." Turns around, gives a head nod, and Talatonga flipping whips out, beating on those Usos. Uh, Solo is looking strong. Even though he wasn't able to overcome it at the end of the show, we had the tag team match between Talatonga and Solo versus Usos. Solo is getting built, and I like it. I like the fact that we're getting that enforcer kind of guy. Obviously, Talatonga is the muscle, but if we can get in there where we're seeing matches with Solo beating big people, especially with what happened on the in the John Cena kind of tournament, he looked really good there. Let's build off that. Let's get Solo kind of cooking again, so that he can be a component of that Bloodline family and be another kind of figurehead for it, potentially. And I like the fact that he told the Usos, go back to where you're from, go back to SmackDown, because they've kept on coming SmackDown. They're trying to speak to Jacob, kind of deal with Jacob, but and being the kind of the tribal chief's yes man in a way. But it'd be very. I wanna. I like the fact Solo takes control and he's pushing it. Even though he wasn't able to deal with Jacob Fatu, when Jacob Fatu comes out, he beats everybody up. He's so that we don't get a result of the match. Um, it made Jacob look really good. What I want from the Usos going forwards, you had obviously that interaction between the Usos and LA Knight again, LA Knight getting involved in business that doesn't involve him, and him essentially um, saying if the new blue line gets involved or it becomes a thing, uh, you're gonna deal with me, you're gonna deal with the consequences, whatever he waffled on about. Next week, I wanna see Crash Out Jay just attack LA Knight. We're not dealing with LA Knight anymore. LA Knight, focus on something else. You're not involved. You're not a oos. So get back to your own business, and Jay just knocks him out, and we get a feud between. Let's get if you can get that in place, you can kind of remove the Usos from the Roman and Jacob storyline temporarily, and they can focus on LA Knight and um, Usos and Roman. Jacob Fatu and Roman can focus on each other. What I wouldn't mind if Solo pulls up to Roman and he's like, because he got disrespected by Roman. Roman disrespected Solo, which was not called for. Solo coming out with Toller and be like, coming face to face with Roman and says, you were talking about me, you were saying that I couldn't get a coffee. I pulled up on your show. What are you gonna do about it? I wouldn't mind that. I feel like that would be a very well done thing for Solo because he don't we don't Solo and Roman Reigns, we don't gel. We're not friends. So let's get that involved, let's get that pushed. That's what I'm seeing from that. You had what was the other kind of main big thing on SmackDown was you had the Ricky Saints debut, which was I really enjoyed. I feel like the crowd wasn't too involved as they have been with certain other people that have debuted recently, but um, I feel like that will come with time as he's currently a heel, but if he is able to eventually become a baby face, Ricky Saints, which I think is now that he's not kind of involved with Ethan Page because they both on two different shows, you could kind of get that baby face out of Ricky Saints, and that would be a very positive way of pushing him forwards. Because I like Ricky Saints. I love him as a heel, but I really really love him as a. I feel like he'll get more starlight and more kind of focus if he was a um, heel, a babyface instead. Uh, I like the Cody entrance. Cody, the very pro Cody on SmackDown, which is really good. You obviously you have away shows. I think Vegas just doesn't like Cody Rhodes for whatever reason, and that's why he gets booed there. But and then it kind of extends to the following show. But when you get back to it, when you get to the right shows, Cody's the man. Cody's QB1. Currently, for Backlash next week, you've got um, there's three matches announced. I'm not sure what would be the fourth match or fifth match on the cards. You got Oscar versus Io. I expect Oscar to win, not clean, and we're building towards a kind of a case where Io Sky is pushed into a corner, but maybe eventually afterwards she's able to overcome Oscar. Um, what would be very interesting in that story if is a case where if Oscar wins against Io Sky, they must kind of rebuild that um, senpai and kohai relationship, and it's kind of a forced situation for Io, and Io has to overcome that again to able to push forwards, and that's when she eventually wins against Oscar. A little bit of what they kind of did with Kyrie previously, and then she left, unfortunately. But that's what I think that could be very interesting. If they didn't, I don't mind. You had, you've got Seth versus Braun. I think Braun wins via involvement. It's going to be a very involvement show. You can't really have that many involvement, really. But yeah, I guess Braun wins. Not sure. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of in two minds there. Um, because I think Roman wins because of involvement as well. Get it. Io Sky wins first match. Seth is gonna be winning the second, and Roman Reigns is gonna be winning um, against Jacob Fatu because of some sort of involvement. Off the back of that, let's talk about NXT. I thought it was a good show. I liked how the fact that they've got new blood in the show. That evil guy, he's interesting. I don't know where he's come from, but he looks cool. Um, you had what else was there? Um, Tavion Heights looked really well done when he took out um, what's the guy's name? Tony D'Angelo. He looked really good. I didn't notice him straight away, but like he was like, "Yeah, I'm involved here." That was really well, nice, really nice, and I really like that. But throughout the show, it was a very chaotic show. Hopefully, there's a lot of answers. Hopefully, next week even more chaotic, and we can push back that kind of feel of NXT. Anything can happen in NXT, and let's get that back into play, which I feel like is a need for NXT because it's as always I always kind of say it's a good show. It's constantly good, but it used to be very good. It used to be really enjoyable. So I want it back to that kind of level. Coming to the end of like this segment, the wrestling one, I was kind of sad to see the quite a few people, other people getting released. You had the New Day getting released, which was very shocking. I think they asked, from what everybody's kind of reporting, they asked to leave. Um, Makes sense for them, I guess, because they've not been protected. They've not been really looked after. Really don't like this TQ. Obviously, we don't know because there is kind of just speculation out there, but it kind of sounds like these TKO kind of business people are just kind of only care about money, and if you're not contributing, even though you've got legacy, we're not gonna look after you as we would other people, which is I feel like it's so super super disappointing, and it's not the right thing to do. I would say you had a reinventing of the New Day, and I feel like they were underappreciated, especially with the tag teams. They had a period of time last year where the tag team kind of got really division really got hot, and then they just never looked after it, and they never really do. Which is especially since the Usos, I feel like the last good tag team champions were AJ Styles versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. They were probably one of the best tag teams we've had recently, and their championship reign was really well done. And it's a shame that it was short. It was short lived due to the fact obviously AJ Styles retiring, which is quite sad. But all the rest to the New Day, I really like those two, and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. I'm trying to think of where would they really fit in going in the future. I feel like it wouldn't be mad to see them in like New Japan, the New Day, New Japan, New Day, New Japan. I feel like that fits really well. Um, I feel like they could do really, really amazing stuff there. Obviously, I don't really watch New Japan wrestling, but that's just if I'm thinking about it, that's what I think about. Anyways, what we do have is a little bit of a treat for this video. I have here 5 packs of OP 15. So we're going to be opening these. These are English packs, so they're not the cheap Japanese ones. But just get into it, man. Hopefully, we can pack a manga rare. Be very careful though. This might be very slow as well because I don't want to damage any of the cards. I don't think this is a good pack because I kind of saw a leader card there. Anyways, so we got Kota Tori, you got Emmett, you got Higuma, you got Kelly Funk, you got Gatling Hawk, you got Montblanc Nolan. Not really been opening this well, really. It's hard to read them while watching the video. We got Kabaji, you got Chopper, we got that guy, we got Rebecca leader card, we got that rare, and then we got Lightning Dragon. It's a low-key really nice card, that one. Don't really have any sleeves, so like if I get something really nice, it'd be a shame. And then most of the cards you get, they're kind of pennies really. You're kind of banking off the fact that maybe in 3-4 years they'll be super 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 valuable. We're a Don pack, I think, at the end. Do so you got Boogie, got that guy, that guy. Don't know who that guy is. Got Pistol Lotus, You got Green. You got Vegapunk. You got Frankie. You got that one. You got Bartholomew Kuma. That's such a nice card. They have super nice cards, you know. And then we got um, what's his name? And then you've got the Don card at the end. Um, so I'm gonna ring that golden bell. That's a hollow as well. You know. Kuma cards are really nice, man. Whew, this is a bit of a effort. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna do it like this. So we got Setamura, Boogie, Koratori, Albosmu, that's not how you say the name, Ryuma, Hitori, Would You Let Me Eat the Flame Fruit, Kabiji, Sai, Just Watch Me Ace, out to the res, you got Sanji, and then behind that we got Rob Lucci Full Art. Look at that card. That is a very nice card. Not bad at all. SR. SR Rob Lucci. Probably our best pack so far. I don't think it's worth too much. I think he's about £7 or something like that. But then again, you can't complain really. So we got Trafalgar Law, Nico Robin, Gembo, Bartholomew Kuma, the Risky Brothers, Pacifista, Barrister's Being a Human, another Don pack, Anel, Prona, and just nothing else. Varies and Dragon Rope thing. Then final pack, last pack Magic, hopefully. Let's get that open. Give us a not good open. I'll kind of skip it until the end, really. You got Hibibbo, and then you got Brook as well. Very nice. Brook SR. Overall, probably best card, Brook SR or Fuller Rob Lucci. Uh, could have been worse, I guess. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if it was good, leave a dislike if it was bad. Peace.